What's up, everybody? This is Cy Smith, and you are in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. In the basement with JaVonne and Terez. In the basement with JaVonne and Terez. With the basement, hey, with JaVonne and Terez.
Ooh, ooh, I dig that.
Hi, this is Khan, and you're listening to and watching Brunch in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artist or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today. Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
All our horses though, Jay. Like she got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some tomorrow. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out
You
tomorrow.
can send me some cologne. Cause I mean,
Cologne,
you know.
make cologne?
Yeah.
I will
Just
do
in
that.
case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
and we thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. This part, that little piece, I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing.
And I think it's time, Terez, to do a little rapid fire with Mr. Richard Pryor Jr.
I think so. So
yeah.
Look at his face. Don't worry, we won't hurt you.
Hey, can't hear you. I'm unmuting you. I cannot unmute you. You have to unmute. There you go. What's up? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Boy, oh boy. A lot's been going on.
It's been a week, hasn't it?
The week was weekend. Yeah, for sure.
It's been something. I can't even, I know I look a mess, but you know what? That's okay, because, hey, Nathan James in the house. Nathan James.
Good morning.
Hi, Nathan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody. Actually, thank you for joining us. Let me just let you know that you can now catch us live on Instagram in the basement. Instagram. You can also call in.
Yes.
Be patient, and I will let you speak with us. If I see your number pop up, I will read off your last 4 digits and invite you to speak to us if you have something to say.
If you just want to get it out.
Keep it respectful. Hello. The number to
Yes.
call in is 347-996-5394. I think you have to press 1 if you want to speak or something like that.
Yes.
But I will be checking to make sure that no one's just hanging on forever. You can also just listen to the show by calling in. You don't have to speak. You can call in and just listen if you don't feel like looking at our beautiful faces. Sometimes too much beauty can hurt. It's like sometimes it's just too much. It's just too much. Yeah. So also, those of you checking us out on Instagram, give me a minute because I'm looking at 5 different things. Okay. Now, you can see this, right? You can see these little things that could pop up. That's if you are watching on YouTube. You can put your comments and I will see your comments. That's the only way I'm going to see your comments automatically is if you go to WJBR Internet Radio on YouTube. I will be able to see your comments, such as, good morning, Nathan, again.
Good morning.
Hi, Ronnie Pooh.
Ronnie, baby.
Ron, are you still in Hawaii, Ron?
Ooh.
Doing his damn thing. Do your thing.
Nice.
Do your thing, honey. And we got Black Phoenix.
Black
How you
Phoenix.
doing, sweetheart? And this is Gigi. The Black Phoenix. Phoenix.
Nice.
Phoenix. What is a Phoenix? I have to get my
Phoenix
back. Ron, you are in one of those states where these people, make sure if you are in Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin, any of the swing states, Texas, even the red states, Texas, Florida, make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure everything is on and popping with that shit, because the powers that be, racist and cheating, are trying to keep your vote suppressed. Thank you so much for that word.
And hear this, and for folks that have already, like, I'm good, I'm registered, go check for sure. And it doesn't take you any more than 5 minutes to check online just to make sure, because they've been knocking a lot of those registrations out too. So don't just assume, or just don't roll up to the polls thinking, okay, I was already registered, I've been registered. Just go check to make sure you still on and popping.
Exactly.
You can find out early where you're supposed to vote, like, because sometimes they shuffle those little poll areas around. So just, find out where you are. Just like get preset for the vote.
Exactly. Make sure, some of us, we know we're registered, we've been voting forever and all this other stuff. Just check it out. I just want to give a quick shout out to those on the live stream. Something is going on from my end. It looks a little frozen. But Top Billings, what's up, baby? One Queen Forever. Mwah, we miss you. Been a long time too. Yes. And Diva Lisa S. 111. What's up? And Life of B Hicks. Want to say hi. We just want to. I can't talk for everybody else, but I just want to kick it around. I want to start off. I just, because I have what I like to call a burning desire. And Ronnie says we are both definitely registered to vote. Thank you, Jesus. And absolutely, that means that Nathan agrees with us. So let's can we get to it?
We could get right on to it.
Get to the hot topic.
Let's go.
Okay, enough of the shenanigans. Let's address the real elephant in the room. I just saw it and I said, elephant. What is that? I miss that person. But she's coming back.
Yes, she is.
She's coming back. So, what is that elephant in the room? Let's talk about it.
Well, was anybody surprised that rumpled Trump skin
Uh-uh.
was not going to debate again? Was anybody surprised? Was anybody else? And I know this is rhetorical. Was anybody else filled with glee watching that debate?
I personally was filled with glee. At first I was nervous. First I was afraid. I was petrified.
Why were you nervous?
Because I didn't want I didn't want I wanted her to have the best showing. I was nervous like I would be if you were going up there. I would be nervous for you, on your behalf. Nervous because if I had a child and that child was going up there, I'd be nervous for my child. Not that I feel like she's my child. She feels more like a sister friend in my head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But Gigi, I'm sorry, Black Phoenix is reminding us that if you moved recently, please update your address and register in your county or township. Very, very interesting. Very, very true. Because they getting people tripped up on all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, hopefully that's that. And no, she was not surprised. But then when the debate started, I could see she was nervous, and I got even more nervous. I was like, oh.
I interpreted that more as a swell because it's all this anticipation. You know what I mean? Because she is who she is essentially, and as long as you have a core to drop into, of substance, I think you're going to be fine. But like here you are, you're across from the globe. I don't know how often, if at all, they've stood side by side. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All this, propaganda and rhetoric she's spewing, and now she had the opportunity to be in his face, right?
Yep.
So he could say whatever it was in her face,
Exactly. Right?
Like
she said, you got something to say it in my face.
Exactly. And I think that on the handshake, I saw him backpedaling on the handshake, quite frankly,
Yes.
And she just needed to settle in her skin, and say, okay, let me see which way, because, if anybody, and I was confident, where I can honestly say I've never been this confident before. First of all, I want to say that was the best debate I've ever seen, best presidential debate ever. I'm sorry she didn't have a worthy opponent to actually debate, but nonetheless, I think that she was fantastic in her space, right? But if there were going to be anybody that could have gotten him to answer a question, it would have been her.
Yes. Her walking up to him when he was trying not to shake her hand, he was trying to divert and go the other way, and she walked right up on him, because typically they walk together in front of the podiums in the middle, shake hands, and then go back to there. He was trying to go back and around, and
nah, she came all up in his space to shake that hand.
Yes. And there's a clip. I didn't, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back, y'all. I promise. But there is a clip where when they met again in tribute to 9/11, and they were standing nearby each other. Joe was in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
She went and shook his hand again, and you know how he likes to do that shake your hand and grab thing.
Uh-huh.
Like he's done that. You've seen him do that over the years to powerful leaders, and they kind of fall in, and because they're surprised that what the hell is he doing, But he did that to her, and she yanked him right back. Yes, I saw. It's really brief and subtle, and I think somebody is standing in front, but somebody. I'm gonna find that video and I'll post it around or whatever. But you can see when you zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
That she pulls back, and the look on her face says it all. And Joe is standing there, and he laughs, because he's not laughing like out loud, but there's a smirk on his face, because you can see he's saying, this dude don't know who he's messing with. And really, I want to say an F word. But yes, Gigi, I agree. It was a boss move for her to go and throw him off from the beginning. We have a caller, and I believe you're gonna recognize this voice. 3307. What's your name and where you calling from? Yes, Loretta from Connecticut. What's up, darling? How you doing?
I can't hear her.
You can't hear her?
Mm-mm.
Oh, she's saying it's been far too long. For some reason, Loretta, they can't hear you on the live. So yeah, unfortunately, are you in a place where you can type in, or if I send you a link, will you be able to come on screen? You want to come on screen and say hi? Okay. All right. So Loretta's going to join us on YouTube, darling. Sorry about that. I guess for right now, calling, I have to get that set up. But thank you so much, honey. Thank you for calling. All right. So don't bother to call. Just type in and text what you got to say. Um, that did not work. I guess, you know what, and it's my bad because typically I would have tested it, like previously, but I just assumed that everything was still working, and that's, my bad, my bad. I hear you, Ron. I see. But she's gonna come in on the chat. LaVon just wants to know how both of y'all managed to look younger than the last time I saw y'all. Hi, everybody. Well, hi, LaVon. How you doing? Should we be calling you Sammy now? Because I'll call you what you want to be called.
AKA.
And thank you very much.
Hey there, Queen.
There she go. It has been a minute since we've been in it. Don't get me rapping and shit. So yes. So boss move by saying we're gonna do this the right way. We gonna shake hands.
Listen, if I was president, I wouldn't be shaking anybody's hands. If I as a woman were president, I wouldn't shake hands at all. I would just, I would nod to acknowledge the person. But all the shaking hands with these folk, it's a lot. You know what I mean? That's not, and in some countries, shaking hands with a woman is not, not okay. You know, some cultures, I should say. So I would start it early and start. How are you? Good to meet you. Like very that. Good morning, boy.
I hear you. But I'm glad she did, and it set the tone.
Yeah. Him, I would probably flip around a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably, you know how you back in the day, how when you were a kid, you would rub the knuckles together. I'd rub his knuckles a few times.
I ain't rubbing shit on that man.
I'd rub his knuckles, because that hurts. It's like, ow, just rub his knuckles. Hey, oh, did I do that? Oh, hi.
Man.
But like shout out to Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris.
Yes.
For
Madam Vice President.
For saying the word motherfucker without saying the word motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Because you know what, honestly, that's just how I think most people would like to address him. Like when you think about some of the things that he's done, it's like this former president, I mean,
I think that for the cultures that heavily are heavily entrenched with nonverbal communication, and I'll just speak for the Black folks and our nonverbal communication. Like we're able to talk to each other, particularly sister friends, from across the room without using words, right? I think that is what that was. I think we were all able to read into that. I think that that's a for us, it's a cultural art form, you know. Even the tone of our voices and the way we express things always have that beat, so you know exactly which way, you know, you're sending whatever it is you're sending, right? So, and that is something we are, you know, culturally astute at. So when she called him this fella, you know, I was cracking up. I think that we needed to see some ism, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a very like, what? I know this, you know, this former president ain't trying it. You know what I mean? Like, because again, like with all of the fact checking that went on, and hers, because I went back to see, because she had one, I think it was, and I think that they labeled that misleading as opposed to, but I think if she provided more context around it, it probably would have been true, you know?
Yeah.
I
That's
just think it was a context situation.
Yeah, that's the big whoop. And you know, for people, back to that, Kamala's eyes and facial expression said a lot. There is a clip of Keke Palmer and somebody, I can't remember who, another Black celebrity female, and they're doing some kind of game show. And the answer is, I think, what's the thing about the ship that goes down?
Titanic?
Yes, the answer is Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And Keke says, Pearl. And the woman's like, she said, because I guess you can only say one word.
Uh-huh.
And she's doing it all with the Pearl.
Right.
And the other one is like, yo, I don't want to mess up. I'm going to mess this up. And I don't want to, you know, say the wrong thing. She said, you not, girl, you not. Pearl. She says again. And she says, all right, Titanic. And that was the answer. And it was like all communication in this, because quite frankly, I wouldn't have got it. But yes, you know, it was a sister girl thing. And, you know, there was an interview Kamala did with Charlemagne.
Yes.
And
saw that.
He wasn't, I felt in watching it, I felt bothered by it, because it wasn't until she got attitudinal and rolled her neck that he got it. Why do Black women always have to get, we can't just articulate our facts, we gotta get into like, why?
Well, you know what it was? I think he would have, I'm sorry, I think he could have gone about that a different way, because first he started off by trying to you know, be sarcastic, right? And what she's not gonna let you do is play in her face too long. So she had to stop him, because she said, wait, hold it. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, because honestly, I'll cop to wanting some of that too. You know, I'll cop to wanting some of it, because, you know, we've you know, we managed to code switch our brilliance, code switch our culture quite a bit to sit in these corporate spaces, right? When in reality, I think that a lot of it is appropriate. Now we know we're not going to MF land, but at the same time, when somebody's out of order, they're out of order, and we don't have to sit there and, you know, and take it. And I think when she gave that pushback, like she said, wait a minute, because he was trying to talk over, because I think he referenced who's the president at this point. Is it Joe or is it somebody else? And she was like, hold on, Charlemagne, hold on. Joe Biden is the president. I am the vice president. Like, let me get you straight. All right. Because what we're not going to do is this here. Right. That's not why I'm here. Boo, boo. You know what I mean? And giving it that tone, you know. And yeah, of course he likes it, because, you know, truth be told, the world is full of beat me freaks, quite frankly. I said it, you know, but it shouldn't take that. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I wasn't mad at the fact that I like to know that she had some in the saddle. You understand? Like she had some act right in the saddle if she needed to, you know, present.
All I could say about that, and I agree that it is on one level satisfying to see her show her culture, because that's cultural. That
Yes.
way of being a sister is very cultural.
Right.
And during the debate, one of the things is, she black? She's not black. She's not black enough. She's black. Look, when she said, and this,
Former president.
she was blackity black, black, black. I don't want to hear that shit no more about is she black or not. To be honest, I'm not particularly impressed with either candidate at the moment. That said, Kamala showed up in the prosecutor suit, and I'm newly intrigued.
Yes. Yes.
Freaks. Hashtag freaks.
Yes. 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 The DJ beloved in the building.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, bro.
And she almost did. She almost said it, and she restrained herself. But I'm going to say this again. Black women have to go through so much just to get up. Just to get in the typical in McDonald's, God damn it. She must to be employee of the month. Who knows what you got to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And to become to graduate law school, to become a lawyer. And she graduated high. I don't know how high in her class. I never looked up all that shit. But she became attorney general. And to do that as a black woman, as the first black woman in your state, that's amazing.
We should be really, you said something to me off screen that I think that we need to consider a few things. Like, here we are in this is 2024.
And I agree with you, beloved. Sorry. He said she be cussing people out.
And I'm sure she does.
She said her favorite cuss word starts with an M and ends with a
Well, she's gonna run into a lot of them, you know what I mean? Just because. And I think that, in order to posture and let people know that you're not a pushover, because they will try you. The fact that they will try you anyway is we said something in the off air, JaVonne, and in 2024, how we're still talking about the first black or the first person of color. That should be in and of itself embarrassing, quite frankly. It should be embarrassing when we talk about, and then they talk about, we want to get rid of diversity, equity and inclusion. Really? You want to get rid of it when we're still talking about the first?
Yeah.
And how many years? Like this, the first black Supreme Court justice. Oh, yeah. In 2024, in the history of this country, we should be embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
We should be embarrassed. And I'm not saying that's when they were appointed. I'm just saying that we're still talking the first. Like, wow.
And we also, one of the other things we talked about is the standards that are put on black women,
right?
Regardless of what it is, really. I don't care if it's you got a restaurant, shit. But this is a whole different level. And how not everybody, how a lot of folks were like throughout the whole administration, Biden's administration. Well, where's Kamala? What's Kamala doing? She was busy being the vice president. And what the vice president does is very rarely known. Nobody pays attention to the vice president. What was Pence doing as vice president?
Nothing.
Except for, well, he was probably doing something. He was probably doing the legal stuff behind the scenes,
making sure Don Juan the convict stayed out of
right. The stuff that Don that he didn't want to do, like
looking at resumes from people that he had to replace.
Yeah. So if you're on TikTok, please be patient, because it looks like I kind of froze up over there. But yeah, so people are like, well, what? Oh,
hey, Chulo.
I love you, Pop. Hi, how are you? What in the what? I don't
Trump
know
was
if we're even
president for
still.
4 years. What did he actually do? Nothing. Nothing. And understand something, for the money making presidents, like Trump was, tossing all around that money in COVID. 90% of it was just that was probably the most mismanaged budget ever that ever lived. The country was in shambles with him rattling the fence like a 4-year-old. So, at the end of the day, it's like, if you are telling me that you are still, with all that you know for sure about this man, all that has been said, he got up there super lying. He wasn't just lying, he was super lying, right? And if you tell me you're still out of the can, because we don't really have any other candidates, so cut it out. Cut it out. If you're still in a space where well, I don't know, and whatever, and like it's that's telling me a lot about how far we can go with a lot of things, because you got one vote, and if you say you're not voting, you're essentially voted. You've actually given it to the other candidate, because you're still weighing your options and everything else. Come on. I think a lot of people just want to be super pseudo powerful right around these times and act as if you have to be begged to vote for some. Listen, we're in a state of this country has a lot of work to do, right? And I'm not saying that other countries do not. What I'm saying is, the land of milk and honey, needs a reckoning of sorts, needs a shakedown of sorts, the way that we do things. That being said, I do believe that it has potential to be great, and have everybody, all of its citizens recognized. There is a history, however, that people of color, and I'll say people of color because, the boat dropped various people off at various different locations, right? So, coming over from Africa, some landed in different areas, and as opposed to coming straight here, right? So, and I count them in this conversation because of the horrendous things that this gentleman, and I use the term extremely loosely, made comment about the Haitian folks. And, and I'm glad that they are pushing back on that, because his running mate doubled down on it, and it's like, that's not going to stop. People already have these, like, he's too old to change his mind, at this point. And that's not ageism. That's just sometimes when stuff is just, it's like having a urine soaked pamper. You're not going to be able to get the stench out just because you give it information. You're not going to be able to wash that out. It's been soaking for how many years at this point? You're not getting the smell of piss out of the pamper. And that's Donald Trump, and for us New Yorkers that know Trump in his heyday, before he was even thinking about president, he was just in the clubs popping shit. Okay. Same dude. Hasn't changed a lick. Now he's trying to, run the corporation called United States in a space, and that's it, and at some point, the vice president had to sit there and just kind of chuckle, because it was like every single trap she set, he gallivanted into it, Ever come to a Trump rally? Oh, that's all he needed. You see his eyes start twirling, like the idea that you're saying that my crowds aren't big,
and people leave out of boredom.
You know what I mean? It's like, and after a while, it was like, but I knew coming in, if anybody was going to get him to answer a question, it was going to be her, because she was not going to let him not answer it, But, it is what it is.
Yeah, she's a prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
She's a prosecutor. She, she does this debating thing, this is what she does. This is who she is.
Right.
So let me just say that, Sammy, you brought up one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. And eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. kind of like that part. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
The internet, and regardless to who, it was the winner was VP Harris and the internet.
and the internet.
And the internet.
And then he doubles down on stuff. And it's funny. The memes, shout out to all the creators on Instagram, YouTube, and all of that. Y'all are forever admired for that shit. But at the same time, now I have to, think about those communities that are now on lockdown, getting bombed. Words matter. Words matter. And if for no other reason, and you can't, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but if you care about anybody outside of yourself, and even yourself, depending on who you are, you have to consider how his words have power amongst his group of cultists.
Good word. Good word.
Because he says something and they react. And really, he is a puppet for some other people. He don't even realize. Like, there's a group, I can't even think of what their names are. I was just reading about this and then saw some stuff on these people. It's another group of young men wearing masks and hoods and shit who circulated this. And he got wind of it. And an old lady saw it and she put it on something. So he assumes it's true and he says it. So you could put any nasty thing out there and he's going to spew it. And then these people who believe in him, which it's millions and millions, it's like 70 something million Americans. Try to think of 1 million people coming into your apartment or your house. Try to think of 100 people in your house. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of damn people who believe this stuff. And a lot of them, because they're so easily led by him, they're not full faculty. And they will do things, man.
Yeah.
Like threaten to bomb schools where children go to school. What kind of people are these? That Trump said Haitians are eating cats and dogs. Let's bomb the schools where the Haitian children go to school. Are you serious?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I don't even understand how. All right, I'm gonna.
You know how I liken that to when I say folks looking for a reason, to get something off, because it really doesn't matter if you're looking for a reason. You can be triggered by anything, right? So, it's just like when you have a bunch of folks that don't particularly care for you, and then you have other folks that you don't even know that don't care for you. It's like, oh, well, you were just looking for a reason anyway, honey. Like they're just looking for a reason to want to start some stuff, get some stuff off.
Exactly.
My concern is that like the last presidential election, and like this debate, he doesn't think he loses anything. So I'm not prepared for, like emotionally prepared, because I just it makes people want to lose it, because when you lose this race, how are you going to go out this time? Because now, because I personally think, and this is my personal views, and there's a disclaimer again, but I personally believe that he's just running to stay out of jail. Quite frankly,
I believe that too. I think a lot of people believe that.
So at the end of the day, it's like, so when you don't win, what kind of ruckus are you going to kick up? You know what I mean? What kind of ruckus do we need to be prepared for? Because at that point, like, I don't know.
I also believe he's showing early signs of dementia.
Mm-hmm. Sure. What, you gonna forget you said it? Okay. Well, we'll remind you what you said about the bloodbath if you don't, win. We'll remind you.
But here's the thing. I think because of, and maybe, people will say, oh, don't believe what you see in the media, blah, 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 whatever. There are judges that have acted in favor of Trump. I'm not even talking about he could do anything he wants, the immunity thing. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about in North Carolina, which now is in play, which now is starting to turn blue, which Kamala is currently up by 2 points. Which within the margin of error, granted. But they had already prepared the ballots to go out. And now RFK, Mr. Wormy Brain, wants to be taken off that ballot. So he sued to get off that ballot. So now all the ballots, which were supposed to be sent out no later than September 6th, have now been recalled and have to be reprinted. And by law, that all has to be done by September 20 something or 20th, and it's putting the elections board back and out of sync, and everybody is going, what's going on?
Does that impact the vote?
It is impacting the mail-in vote.
Here we go.
So they are doing things. It's by September 21st. They are doing things to negatively impact. They're cheating. And they are Republican voted elected judges. So here's the thing. If she loses, in my opinion, it will be because of fraud. It will be because of corrupt judges and fake electors. I want to see if I can share something really quick, because I really should have practiced these things, but I want to try something. It's going to be real quick, and I feel like we have to show the crowd sizes and things like that, because people don't believe that she could be getting that many votes and all that other stuff. So this is in Red, Pennsylvania, what I'm going to try to show.
People don't believe. So once again, here we go.
Can you see that, Raz?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
What's up? I love the fact that she wears sneakers.
Yeah, me too. People are so excited for her.
It's a Super Bowl audience.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Ridiculous.
Hmm. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to tell all those people that they sit there in that history-making seats. You know that those rallies are have been amazing. Her turnouts have been great. People want to hear what she has to say. She's this curiosity, quite frankly, and I think that and she makes sense. She makes sense. I certainly, as a Republican, I'm not against the Republican Party, right? Because I believe that we all need to be in a space where we come together with ideas, and I'm not afraid of people that may be different from me, right? But if this is your elected leader, therein lies a problem, and I think that's what a lot of the Republicans that are deciding to vote for her,
Yeah.
are saying, because like we can't get behind this clown, because then that means that he's representing his own interests. He's not even representing us at this point. He's got a whole nother agenda that has nothing to do with what we stand for. I'm talking about the old boy Republicans. They're like, okay, well, you know what? And they find him uncontrollable. That's what it is as well. I believe, because if they could control it, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. But I think because he's such a firecracker for them, he's an off-scripted firecracker, and without the intelligence, and he's got his own agenda, and he's a bad man. He's this, he's that, and and he's like, she's not going to be able to stand up to them. But you are, and she stood up to you.
Yeah, she did. And also, there's somebody saying this was a Republican who said, one of them evil ass Republicans who said that Trump called her dumb as a rock. So what does that make him? Hey, shout out to Ultra Nate. I see you checking us out on the Instagram. Wish I could sing, because I would sing to you, because you are Black excellence.
What's up?
Is she not beautiful? Ultra Nate. Check her out, y'all. Ultra Nate music. If you're on Instagram, follow.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Rez. I don't know, y'all. How can people, have seen that and believe there's a choice?
What was your favorite part of the debate?
What was my favorite part of the debate?
Yeah.
When she called him, there was a couple. It was so good. When she called him a motherfucker.
Without calling him a motherfucker. When she, when she laid it on the line, she is more courageous than I am, I have to say. I am more, I will hold my tongue, because not so much a fear of a person, right, but because of how it might come across to others in this kind of situation where everything is on the line. Right.
She called him a disgrace.
Right.
In front of everybody. See,
right. Appropriate.
He is a disgrace, and it's not a lie. But I don't think I would be so bold as to say it that way. I would be more likely to enumerate his disgraceful ways, like put out the things that he's done. And
he doesn't think that see, your opinion of what he's done, he doesn't agree with. Like he's living in an alternative understanding,
And I get it. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why she do what she do. And she did that shit. And she made me take a look at myself and say, damn, Jay, it's okay to call somebody disgraceful when they're a fucking disgrace in public. Yes, you can do that.
Well, she was preferencing, I think when she landed on disgraceful, it was preferencing behaviors, not that you just couldn't say it about him directly, about the soul of the man, but she's preferencing a litany of things, and then said, you're disgraceful, going to other places and having other foreign leaders laugh at you is like, you know, and you think, and you're feeding this rhetoric to your followers, like, you know, like when you came, like, and whoever's advising him or keeping him in the loop, so to speak, with these statistics. Oh, I said it. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Statistics.
You did say it right.
Yeah, I always fumble that word. Are just as batshit crazy as he is, quite frankly, because you know, for him to come off, oh, you know, 90% of they said I won, you know, I and I'm not going to debate her anymore because I won, and she didn't want to do like I could have counted the seconds. I knew he was going to be on some bullshit right after that. Yeah. And he needed an excuse not to want to debate anymore because he shouldn't have done this one, quite frankly. But, you know, he couldn't back out of it because he thought he had it in the bag, you know, and realize that you so don't have it in the bag, sir. Like, we are serious about like getting you out of here. You are circling the block, bad boyfriend. You know, like, stop. You just won't go away, you know. One of my favorite parts was when she broke down what voting the Republican Party back in would do to women's rights in their bodies. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, when she said they didn't ask for this. Oh my God. I'm like, that's right. We ain't asked for that.
Exactly.
When like Pop said, one line was, "You are not running against Joe Biden. You are running against me."
Exactly.
And that part. Yes, that part. Because people, let's not get it twisted. There are things that old Uncle Joe did that she would not do. She, you know, they are two different human beings. Yeah, he's been saying that. Rezi, you are frozen.
So are you. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I see you frozen. I see myself moving, but I don't know. What do y'all see? Do y'all see me moving or Rez moving? Let's move. Y'all gotta let me know so we know what's up.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
It's you?
Yeah.
Okay,
let me dip out and come back in.
Okie dokie, smoky podokie. Yeah, I also enjoyed the part. Yes, she was frozen. Living my life like a frozen. Okay, that was fucking corny. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I get lonely, you know, when she's not here. So then I got to play some music in the background. Make me feel better. That makes me feel a little better. But anyway, what else did I enjoy? What else did you enjoy about the thingy poo, the whole debate? I think when she talked about the fact that the people who were previously in his cabinet were all saying that they wouldn't support him. He had 44 members in his cabinet. Only 4 are endorsing him. That says a lot. And not his vice president, because they tried to hang him. Not the attorney general, which there were a couple of them. I think, you know, his secretary of state got arrested. I mean, like, come on. What's up, Papi Chulo? Everybody, what's up?
I don't want to keep you alone.
You know, I don't like to be alone anymore. I used to like to be alone, but I get so lonely.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you, Pop?
I'm wonderful. Unfortunately, I'm about to leave out. I'm going to an escape room.
Ooh. How many people? How many friends? I hope y'all.
Then we're doing a bottomless brunch.
You know where my mind went, so help me.
And then later on, we're going to go to the San Gennaro Festival in Little Italy.
My question is, will everyone be able to walk after the bottomless lunch? Okay.
Well.
And will they be walking the same?
The views and opinions expressed on Brunch in the Basement is not approved by management of WJ.
And inquiring minds want to know.
JaVonne, you know that's a back door. Well, I can't even say back door. That's a behind.
That's a back door.
No, a behind the scenes conversation, not back door.
Oh man, she's scared. She this, she's that, and now he's doing that sore loser thing again. Yes, honey, he is petrified, and he knows.
You know, JaVonne, the other day, Tuesday before the debate started, I was in the deli by my house. There were 3 young guys, like 21, 23 or whatever. I'd asked them, I said, how old are y'all? And they were like, you know, they told me their ages, and I was like, look, are y'all registered to vote? And they were.
All right.
And I said, the key thing is I want you to make sure that you still go to vote, because what I'm doing in my neighborhood is, as we're getting closer to it, make sure everyone in my area is registered. And then we're trying to mobilize, like what we did when Obama was running. People are going to use cars and vans and stuff like that for the senior citizens and stuff like that, to make sure they get to the polling areas early. So, you know, if there's lines or whatever. And I also remember my friends and I, we had got donuts and coffee and water and pizza, you know.
Yeah, that's...
To feed people. You know, I know in Georgia you can't do that, but we were just making sure that at least the seniors get out that morning to the polling stations. And if they want to go early to vote, we want to do that too. And if people can volunteer, if they can try to at least, you know our motto, tell 5 friends.
Yes, yes.
If you can at least help 5 friends in your neighborhood to make sure they go vote or registered, that says a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping to get some people together in the Bronx, because I have to go. I don't have to, but I'm going to go pick up my mom, take her, and make sure that she can vote. And so there's a couple of seniors in my mom's neighborhood that I will be taking. So if you're watching and y'all know where I'm from, in the hood, Pleasant Point, we the joint, stand up.
Everywhere, not just New York, New Jersey, where
yes, everywhere.
We have so many listeners.
But if what I'm saying is, if you need a ride, I'm gonna be on November 5th in the Bronx. Let me know. I can't get to everywhere, but I want to be where you are.
I want to be where you are.
Oh, sing it, Pop. And go to your phone and call some people as well. That's a good idea. I just don't know what I would say. And maybe there are people who want to make calls and don't know what to say, like to people that I haven't spoken to in years. Like, I don't even remember whose number that is. Just
even if they don't call, put a post on your social media. Put a post up in your building, something. You know, just be proactive, because our freedom is really, really at risk here.
Yeah, so Nathan James says that they're working on making the SEPTA, the system, free to ride on election day.
Nice.
So you can get to the polls. So stay tuned. Please keep us abreast of what's going on. If anybody else knows of a way that you are getting people to the polls.
And that would be nice if Mayor Adams would let MTA
free
buses and the trains on election day, because people are literally off that day.
Yeah. Janelle says, I called someone in Florida and asked her if she was registered. She wasn't. I walked her through the process. And that's what we do.
Nice, Janelle.
That's what we do. That's what we got to do. You know?
Yes.
There's, people want to know why they should vote for Kamala as opposed to not vote for Trump. I mean, the reasons not to vote for him. Anybody screaming about cats and dogs being eaten, come on, eat.
But you know what? But you know what? The sad thing about the press is we keep focusing on that statement. I want people to stay on course.
Project 2025.
That's a bigger picture. Yeah, like I know like a lot of Haitian friends or whatever, they're getting upset that people are posting this, but that's a joke, that's a meme. Let's move on because he is a joke, but let's look at the bigger picture here. Let's stay focused because it's so easy to get distracted, and that's what they want us to do is get distracted.
Yes.
And we don't need that right now. So
I agree 100%.
yeah.
Now I'm wondering what happened to Rez, because typically she would have came back by now.
Maybe she getting a little snack and then coming right back.
Well, it is brunch. Mm-hmm. But I agree 100%, Pop. We don't want to call too much attention to the ignorance. I agree. But that shit was this week, and it was just too crazy.
Yeah, and let's move on because people are making jokes about it. I see a lot of posts on TikTok in here, but I'm like, no. Yeah. Focus on are you registered to vote? Yeah.
So I posted on Facebook that my student loans were forgiven. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people also said that their student loans were forgiven. And a couple of people said to me, how did I do it? And they wish their student loans were forgiven. Well, I could tell you this. If you do not vote Democrat up and down the line, because the Republicans tried to sue Biden, they did sue Biden to stop the student loan payback, forgiveness rather. If Trump wins, there will be no more forgiveness of your student loans. You will not have the opportunity.
Yeah. And people still got to remember, you have to vote every year, not every 4 years.
Absolutely. In order for Kamala or whomever to do anything in the White House, really, things that are going to be long-standing, we need to give her the House of Representatives and we need to give her the Senate.
Yep.
Okay? Because the other thing, as quiet as it's kept, is that Kamala is looking at those Supreme Court judges. And the fact that each state, or is it each jurisdictional court? Like there's 13.
We need Nate we need him to join in this conversation and let us know.
Nathan, are you still there? There's a number of, I don't know what it's called, but there's 13 of them, and so there should be 13 Supreme Court judges. There should be limits on
term limits. Yeah, I think they want to implement that, but
that's what it is. Federal circuits. That 13 federal.
Thank you, Nathan. Yeah.
Nathan, I need you, baby, and I appreciate you.
You know what? Maybe we need to have a conversation behind the scenes about having Nathan come on at least maybe every other Saturday as we lead up to the election to give us his little input, like a political pundit on Brunch in the Basement. Like he's our own correspondent.
I 100%. Right now, though, Nathan's not able to do that, and this is the
best
he can give us, and we appreciate him, and he already knows that, when he's ready, we'll be ready for him.
We love you, Nathan.
Yeah, here's a little background. People don't really know, or some may have forgotten, but when Brunch in the Basement first started, Nathan had his own segment every week.
Yep.
Who was it? What's going on with Nathan James?
Yep.
Rezzy Pooh.
Whoo! Hey, bro. I was listening to you guys. I was like, I had to reboot my whole thing. I don't understand what happened.
It happens sometimes because you know why? Because we know the powers that be are listening.
I must have said something.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to pop on to make sure Jay wasn't alone. We got to do that producer thing from time to time.
I love it.
I got to leave because I got to go to that escape room. So I got to get
out. The bottom party.
And the bottomless brunch.
Yeah.
And then later on, as the day goes by, we're going to the San Gennaro Festival.
If they can walk after. I'm still unclear about that, whether or not they'll be able to walk.
Have a good time, Chulo.
I will, and anybody in Harlem, just let them know tomorrow is the African American Day Parade tomorrow.
Yes. All right now. And Pop, you stay safe now. Okay.
I will. I
Yes.
always. I love you guys. Everyone have a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful safe weekend, and see you next week on Live in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez.
You know that's right.
Love you guys.
Love you too, Pop. Be careful.
I will.
And thank you.
Yes, the bottom party. Get on down there. Bottomless brunch, he calls it.
Pop is mad about town. Mad about town.
He is. But yes, so one thing that they are looking into is to seat 13 Supreme Court justices and to eliminate this lifelong thing and implement term limits. Now, this is only if Kamala wins. And she's going to need a majority in the House and the Senate.
Right.
There's another thing that she can do, which is going to help democracy for the future. And that is to finally make DC a state.
Right. Now,
and Puerto Rico, giving them senators. Okay?
You just answered my question, so I'm glad I waited.
Senators and members of the House of Representatives.
Right.
And this is something that is only fair because we have thousands of people in DC not being represented. I mean, you know, and yes, and Puerto Rico.
Yes. And that are impacted by everything we do too, you know?
Exactly.
So,
you know, the thing is, when there was that terrible storm in Puerto Rico, the thing with the paper towels, Trump didn't realize that we are responsible for them. Because his thing was, why don't they go to their own president? It's like, Negro, you are the president.
Right.
Come on.
Don't say Negro, because he's
I know he's not a Negro, but I just didn't want to say.
Yeah, right.
The word that my grandmother used to call him.
And that most of us still do.
Make DC, PR, the Northern Marianas, Guam, American Samoa, and USVI, all states.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did we speak about, just to give some levity here, well, not necessarily levity, but did we speak about the passing of Frankie Beverly?
Frankie Beverly, I'm sorry, I don't know where my brain is starting. You know, just a quick sidebar. I'm sorry. I go to physical therapy for my shoulder, and the dude, I don't know, I guess he thought he was helping me. He started putting pressure on my spine. And I have been off kilter ever since. I walked out of there kind of wobbly, like, which way did he go, George? I don't know. The spine must be connected to the brain. I guess the brain stem, the nerves coming down, the spinal cord, whatever. But I'm like, woo, I'm still kind of woozy. So I didn't go back because I'm like, wait, you need to readjust that thing. But anyway, Frankie Beverly, James Earl Jones, and I think there was somebody else.
Quite a few. Sergio Mendes.
Yes.
James Earl Jones, Frankie Beverly, Fat Man Scoop, Rich Homie Quan. Quite a few. Just, you know.
Short period of time.
Yeah.
You know. So for everyone who's lost somebody, my heart goes out to you. I know what it is to mourn, you know. And it's a thing for me. I've always, you know, felt something for people when they lost somebody. You know, I've always felt sad for them and sorry for them. But it's not until you lose your own that you really get it, what that thing is you feeling sorry for. You know, when you lose your own, woo! And if you lose them back to back to back, that's because you don't have time to heal from the first thing and then another thing and then kaboom. you know?
Right.
Happy
birthday, LaVonne.
Shenanigans. Peace and blessings to you too, baby. Because that's the other side of death is life.
Right.
The other side of life is death.
And we are really, really, like, I don't know about you, but every time that someone passes that's close, or even like someone passes that I've worked with maybe, or somebody passes that, contributed to my life in some way, like a soundtrack, it's like, my brain goes into, wow, we won't get any more music from this individual, or it makes you question your own mortality, and you realize after a certain point, because when you're younger, you're invincible, right?
Absolutely. Right? You don't think anything's going to happen to you when you're young. But here's the thing too, I was going to send you a text last night about this, but I didn't, because after I had written the text, I realized how creepy not creepy. It just sounded a little narcissistic. Well, not narcissistic. Okay, so here's the thing. So I saw a video Shaka Khan did about Frankie Beverly, and right? So you saw it and you thought of me, right? Because so you caught the secret message she was giving to me in that? Okay, so I thought you might have missed it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, when she said how he contributed to our community, she was talking to me. She was saying that she and I were in the same community, like just reminding me, if I thought that we were separate, we are not. We are together.
Oh, okay.
In this community together.
Okay.
And how our community was affected. So I was very excited when I saw that she had sent me that message, and
okay.
I was going to share that with you, but the way I was typing it sounded a little creepy, and I thought, I don't want you to show it to Mo, because then she'd be on that, Jay is so creepy. I don't want to give her anything, give
her any other,
what? Ammunition? What? But I saw it, and I thought you would feel it. I'm glad to know that you missed the personal, but
yeah. I did see hers and so many others, and it's funny because I think there was I can't remember if it's a show, and forgive me because sometimes it gets blurred, but he and Mo were together in some capacity within the last year or so, Frankie Beverly and Maze, I'm sorry, they helped us celebrate a lot of events, over the years, and just some feel good music. And for those who are contributing feel good music, it's not enough of it, so.
Look, there's some things that some pieces of music that have become cultural anthems. Before I Let Go is one of them. I don't care what part of these United States you are from. As soon as the instruments start, that's, and his whoa whoa is the call for everybody to get your ass up. Let's celebrate.
Yes. And on the downbeat, you make me happy.
Oh, please.
We just go from there. Go from there.
It's straight up feel good music. It's a good time. It's who we are. It calls to that inner who we are.
Joy.
It's like that joy. It's almost like a call to the ancestors. Right. And speaking of joy, I'm glad you said the word joy, because it circles me back to our political discussion.
Okay.
And even when faced with the lunacy, she was able to look the devil in the eye and giggle.
At one point she said, "What?"
Wait, but so we were talking about the cats and dog thing, eating the cat, and I get it. But she said That's extreme.
Yeah.
That's extreme. You know,
What
like
I want to say is that's some bullshit. You know it.
what crazy is, you know, like, come on. You know,
Yeah.
come on, son. You know, we as Americans can do better than that.
Yeah.
We should be able to. You know, forget that Republican Party. What are you thinking? Is this the best you got?
But we will watch. Yeah, it's what they choose. And if in the slim possibility that he's elected, this is who you've chosen to be the leader of your party. You know, and it's like, listen, that says a lot. It says a lot. You know, if you can still stand, like, I could appreciate it more if a Republican would say to me, like somebody that I know a lot of Republicans, let's just understand, but they're real cringy right now behind closed doors. They're really like, you know, I'm a Republican, but I don't believe in that bullshit. Or I'm a Republican and I got to go with her because I can't do what he's doing, you know? And this is behind the closed doors, but, you know, a lot of them, you know, are just really rethinking this whole thing because they don't even agree with what he's doing. So at the end of the day, let's just hope, you know, and I'll say it again. I think I said it last week too, you know, we live in a misogynist society. We do. Mm-hmm. And until we come to terms with that in a real way, you know, because a lot of them just don't want to vote for her because she's a woman, you know. And at the end of the day, you need to rethink that because women have been running it and you and so many other things since the beginning of time. We've birthed too many babies, you know, run too many households, too many, you know, like, listen, when we galvanize collectively under one understanding, oh, there's nothing that can stop us. We've proven that in Georgia. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, stop. We will not be considered less than, you know, we just won't. This idea that, you know, and understand, I get some of the fundamentalists, I guess, traditionalists, I'll say, but, you know, we have to keep up with the times that we are in. We're not in horse and buggy town anymore, you know. We are supposed to be, you know, and we're supposed to be a lot of things that when shit like that comes up, I say, wow, I question it. Yeah. You know, civility.
It's crazy. It's just craziness. So, you know, I think that it would benefit everyone to take a look at Project 2025. You may not want to admit that it's his, but once you start reading it, you'll see that they have already started implementing some of it in testing grounds in red states, such as Florida. I mean, you know, the book banning crap. I think if you're in Florida, you should want your children and demand that your children be able to get a full education, learn the truth, not just some whitewashed version of the truth. There's some really good lessons about empathy, love, conquering bullies,
and why a culture of people stand the way they do in this society. Why? You know, because it's just not, you know, we're not making shit up. You know what I mean? Right. Like, there are reasons why we are saying X, Y, and Z, and here are the reasons why. You know?
Yeah. Some of the other things that people may not realize about Project 2025 is that Trump intends to get rid of, they want to repeal the 19th Amendment, you know? Nathan, you can talk on that, or Gigi if you want to, Janelle, if you want to give us more on that. They also want to evict families from public housing. They have no plan for where these families are going to go.
None.
But they want to look at, you know, these areas for real estate value.
Oh yeah, well they started doing that in New York thanks to Giuliani.
Yeah,
you know, he sold off quite a bit of the New York City Housing Authority to private developers before he left office.
Right, and they want to do it in a large scale. A large scale.
Remember, outside of Chicago, New York, I think, is the second. Well, now the first, because they've, they got rid of Cabrini Green. So I think we hold the largest public housing portfolio.
Yep. They intend to eliminate entitlements such as public assistance. So there's that. I mean, if you are not, I was listening, I didn't see it. I was listening to somebody's podcast. I don't know who it was. It's one of those things that you click on it, and then after you click off of it, it's still on, and you can't find it on your phone to shut it off. And it kept going and going and going, and these people were talking forever, and I was like, how do I get out of this crap? But this one woman who identified as Black, and I believe she was Black, she said that she made money off of Truth Social, and that's why she's going to stick with Trump. I don't know how she's making money off of it. She said millions when other people are losing millions. I don't know. But, I don't know. But regardless of that, you going to let your people suffer for that? You're going to let women and girls suffer for that?
Part of the way you abuse somebody, let's just take a very 1-2 buckle my shoe, right? For a quick second, right? Part of the way you can get people to be subservient and succumb to your abuse is by crippling them in a lot of different ways, right? So we all know the areas of abuse, right? Physical, emotional, financial, mental, psychological. There's a lot of different types of abuse. So you figure what is going to be the state of an individual who cannot get their needs met, basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter, okay? That cannot vie for particular areas of employment. What is going to be the state of mind of that particular person? You're going to take whatever is given at some point if this becomes it. You eliminate SNAP, you eliminate a lot of the other things that they want on the table, a lot of things that people rely on, Social Security, because that was on the table as well, and women's rights. You're not making for a very, you're stripping the resources that people need to survive, in essence. What do you want them to do after that point? And this is housing included. What do you want them to do or resort to doing? Yeah. And you remember, I believe in my heart of hearts, all roads lead back to the, prison complex. But, that's just me. Because I'll tell you what housing ain't, it's a lot to take in.
It is. So there's so many things at risk that people don't realize, I guess. And if you're pro-life, I don't understand how you can be okay with the lack of control of guns. Being a gun owner should not necessarily mean not believing in, the banning of assault weapons.
Right. There's a difference between being a gun owner and having an assault. Like, that means you want to comfortably sit with AKs. For what? Yes. What are you shooting with an AK? You're not in the military?
Right. So people are putting out that she was lying, that she's a gun owner, and that she doesn't want to, that her and Tim, and by the way, love Tim Walz. Love him. I just want to give him a hug. I don't know why. Every time I see him, I just want to hug him. But anyway, her and Tim are gun owners.
Right.
And that's something new that I learned about her. I didn't know she was packing. I'm glad to hear it.
Listen, ADA, you better be packing.
Yeah. So, and that they didn't want to take away guns, but they wanted common sense gun laws. And
Totally.
you know, you should, if you are mentally ill, then you should not have a gun.
It is and it's very loose around that. I think that
And red flag laws.
yeah.
If you have beaten the crap out of your wife and threatened to kill her, you shouldn't have a gun. You shouldn't be able to get a gun.
And they ask you that. They do. You have a domestic violence case going on, they will remove your weapons.
So, you know, I don't see where that's an issue or why that should be an issue.
Because a lot of the people that are screaming about it have those issues. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, how many children, and we're the only country that has all of these kids getting killed in school. Could you imagine when we were in school, we weren't having these gun drills?
No, bomb drills though.
I don't even remember. I remember having fire drills.
I remember having fire drills, and we were having the bomb drills too, where I grew up. You know, how to shelter in place. You know, nobody had a bomb shelter, but we were having the bomb drills. We had fire drills, yeah. You know, go outside and rain, sleet, or snow, you know. But you're supposed to have those at work too. Any building office building that you have periodically, you're supposed to test those that fire system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Going back to the Nathan says we had air raid drills when he was in school, duck and cover.
Yeah. But I mean, what are we covering? Like, somebody's air raiding us. Unless you have a bomb shelter, you know, which are now very popular, ironically. Unless you have one of those, like, you know, getting under your desk is not going to be it. I promise you. You know.
Yeah.
I promise you. You know, it just made me always think the bomb is not going to get me under the desk. You know, like I was that kid. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, my mind just went to 4 little girls. You know?
Yeah.
May they rest in peace. You know, it's just, I don't know. This world, we've always had issues, and good and bad, and politicians that were better than others, periods in history that was some better than others. But going towards the future, we should be looking towards what appears to be better.
Right.
She has a plan. He has
a concept
of a plan. And
what is that?
A concept. I don't believe he has a concept. I don't believe he has an idea. I don't believe he has a clue.
First of all, let me tell you something. If I worked at McDonald's, right, for 4 years, and I left for 4 years, and I decided to come back and work again, I have a reference base for how to put together a Big Mac. I have a reference base on how to put together a fillet of fish, right? I have a reference base on how to drop those fries. The fact that you were a former president and you said you have a concept of something that was sitting in your lap when you were there tells me all I need to know about whatever you're doing. It ain't about us. You ain't like us and you ain't about us.
He hasn't been planning.
He
has no plan. That means I have not really been thinking about this. Even when I was thinking about it, because every other week when he was the president, he would say, in 2 weeks, you're going to see a plan. You're going to see the plan. It's going to be a beautiful plan. You're going to have the best healthcare. It's going to be a plan. It's going to be best. Every other week. And it never manifested.
Ever.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, baby?
Yeah, no, it never manifested. It still ain't manifested. And it went from it's coming to a concept, which says everything you need to know. Real talk. You know, folks with pre-existing illnesses out here talking about what is he saying? You know,
exactly.
Like, so I mean, I don't know. I really do have an opinion. If you vote for this gentleman, I have an opinion about you. You're telling me, like, I don't. If you're voting for Trump and you're in my life, don't tell me. It will change my mind about who you are as a being. And I'm going to put it out there. Do not tell me if you are voting for Trump and you are anywhere near me. Don't tell me. Don't share that, because unfortunately, it's going to change my mind about you as a human.
It does speak to something. It does speak to something. It talks about values, and it talks about what you believe in. Who you vote for clearly talks about who you believe in. Brandon says, my opinion is, if you're voting for him, you're committing suicide.
Pretty much so, because he's gonna set it up. Then it's not just gonna be about the 4 years. He's gonna set it up he's gonna be on some old Willie Lynch type stuff. You know what I mean? He's gonna set it up so that it rolls for a while, and whatever it is, people coming in after him, because he can only serve one more time, but unless of course he gets in there and changes how long the presidents can run. So many things, that can happen, and we just do not need that at all.
Well, he's not trustworthy, so infrastructure. He said he was going to do infrastructure for every other week. In 2 weeks, it's going to be infrastructure. In 2 weeks,
spell it, Trump. Spell it. Spell infrastructure. Spell it.
And he never did anything. Biden came in and he passed the infrastructure. The other thing people are confused about is the STEMI. Let's be clear. Trump did not give you a STEMI. The STEMI was voted on and approved by none other than Nancy Pelosi, and the Democrats gave you the STEMI.
He held it up because he wanted his name on the check.
He held it up. You would have got it sooner. But he held it up because he wanted his name pressed on every check so that you would believe the STEMI came from him. And guess what? You believed that the STEMI came from him.
But here we're talking. What was the stimulus? $1,200, $700, whatever it was. It's still not enough
for all the lives that were being lost at that time, because he was telling people to shoot bleach, to drink bleach, to put some ultra ray lights up their butts or something. I don't know. Maybe you could put it in this way, some kind of way. Like, seriously, man, you need somebody that can lead. When there was Ebola, which was a deadly, deadly virus, there were people who came into this country from traveling abroad who had Ebola. What did Obama do? Lock those people down, okay? The people with the yellow hazmat suits came to their houses, put the tape around it. Those people were not allowed to go amongst the community, okay? Obama set up the something disease control administration thing, whatever it's called. Help me out, Nathan or Gigi, whoever. Can't remember the name of the department, but he set it up to control diseases that could kill people. One of the ladies who had this Ebola virus, she tried to sue to get out of the quarantine. They're trapped. They won't let me go. I just want to go to the store. Hell no, Obama said. You can't go because you got this thing that is airborne, transmittable, and you will give it to other people. No. 4 people died. 4 people died with Ebola in this country. And Fox News lost their mind, saying that Obama mishandled the whole thing, and if it wasn't for 4 people. Yes, the Center for Disease Control.
The CDC was already there, though. We've had the
Center of Disease Control, the Center of Communicable. I'll get the name of it. I can't think of it right now. It's not the CDC. It was something that he put in place, especially for these airborne deadly diseases, viruses. the first thing Trump did when he came in is he eliminated that program. He shut it down. He didn't put anything else in place. And then it was a hot ass mess. And he wouldn't listen to the doctors. And he refused to tell people that's it, the infectious disease. Thank you, Nathan. Obama had an infectious disease pandemic response plan. It was comprehensive and administered by the CDC and NIAID. Trump inherited it and he threw it away, and he refused to put something else in place. And he refused to tell us about the nature of COVID when he first learned about it. He refused because he didn't want the economy to shut down. He let people die. That's why he wouldn't wear a mask. That's why he wouldn't let people wear. That's why he didn't want to talk about it. That's why he lied about it, because he wanted the economy to continue. And a million Americans died. Now, cannot say that he was responsible of the disease. He wasn't responsible for the disease. He didn't go in his little laboratory and cook it up and spread it out there. No, but he is responsible for the massive spreading. He held super spreader events in the middle of this pandemic. He had events where people were unmasked, and people who attended his events died. Okay? His events. This is the president. Do y'all understand? Are you hearing the words out of my mouth? You wouldn't want somebody running the local supermarket who would allow staff who has a disease to be working the cash register.
Well, he wasn't even responsible for when he caught it. You know, when he actually caught it, he was still working, quite frankly, or whatever he called himself doing while he was in the White House. And then further from that, he referenced drinking bleach to some.
And people did it. And people did it. And I know for a fact that people did it.
I agree. I agree,
I'm
Nathan.
not at liberty right now to tell you how I know.
Oh, that sounds like a false air.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was. So I read something that estimated, and true is just an estimate, and it's really a guesstimate, that had he done the right thing, and had he done the type of work that Obama did with Ebola, about 300,000 Americans would have perished. In all likelihood, 700,000 of those people that died didn't have to die. 700, that's mass murder on the biggest spin. And I'm sorry, I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care. That's my opinion.
That's war volume death. That's over war volume death.
Any war, any world war, any war.
Absolutely.
In a war. Let's speak about war for a minute, okay? I want to talk about Ukraine. I don't know much about war, and I don't study, like the geography of all of this stuff. But and Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong on this Ukraine thing. I trust Nathan. Okay. Now, 9/11 was attributed to Osama bin Laden. Allegedly. Now, during the Bush administration, they couldn't find him. I mean, the man had kidney failure, was on dialysis, and he was in the desert. I don't know how hard that was to find, but okay. right?
Woo!
Obama comes in and Ukraine helps us to find and target the man who the United States is saying was responsible for 9/11. Ukraine helped the United States, was integral. And so we owed them. And all they really wanted in return was a chance to be a part of NATO and help when they got in trouble. We help them, they help us. That's really the alliance. That's what it's all about.
Right.
Helping one another, right? That's what it's be about. In times of war, if some predator is coming, I'm going to get you, up, the big, strong America is going to come and help you. So that's that. Trump gets in bed with Putin. Here comes Putin is like, yo, I want Ukraine. Trump is like, I don't give a shit what you do with it. Go ahead. But see, you can't operate like that. You can't operate like that for a lot of reasons. Number one being, if you have my back when I have a fight with this one, then then when somebody else wants to fight you, I lean back. Then anytime somebody want to have a fight with me again, ain't nobody gonna have my back. That's street law.
Code. Right? Code.
Because we know how you do. You weren't down for her when she had your back, whatever. So here's the thing. The first time Trump was impeached, the first time was because of quid pro quo, right? Now, Congress had already approved a check for Ukraine for their self-defense.
Correct.
Putin has always been sniffing around trying to say he wants Ukraine. He wants Ukraine. Trump held up that check and told Ukraine, I will give you your check if you do me a solid. I need you to find something for me on Biden. Find some dirt on Biden and I will give you your check. That's illegal. That's illegal. And that's what he did. There are tapes, there's audio tape. He did it on the phone. That's the quid pro quo. He held up. Here we go. Congress approved aid for Ukraine over Trump's head, and no less. And that was the first impeachment. So then they go into, after Trump's out, Putin don't care. He goes for Ukraine anyway. The Republicans in the House of Representatives now have the majority. And so they get to send the bills and really do the budget and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have been chintzy and holding up money for Ukraine and saying, oh, we don't think Ukraine, why are we sending money to Ukraine? Why are we doing this for Ukraine? Because they are our ally, because they had our back, because we don't want communism to spread. All these people calling Kamala a communist, that's just stupid, okay? Because communism is Russia, okay? Russia is with Trump, okay? Come on, get it together. If you're gonna call me a name, call me short, because I am. Don't call me a giant, tall string bean. It makes no sense, because I'm not skinny and I'm not tall. I'm short and fat. Call me a potato, goddammit. If you're gonna call her something, call her happy, jubilant, and joyful, because that's what the fuck she is, and powerful, and a black woman. Yes, I said it. And she rolls her neck. Okay. So this whole thing, they've been given Biden shit about his support of Ukraine, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. You don't turn your back on your allies. Now, that's another thing I just needed to get out there. That Ukraine had our back, and thusly, we should have their back. And that's all I got to say about that.
David and Goliath.
Exactly.
Classic example. But beyond all that, I just don't think anybody needs to be fighting.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And then, you talk about, women's not fit to do da-da-da-da-da, but all you little men have been doing is fighting, and look at the state that we're in with the men at the helm. And not to say that, and I don't believe in voting for someone just because they're a woman or just because come on. This is C-Spot run. You vote for the candidate. And that could mean you cross parties as well. Could mean that. But but until you start representing common interests, because we're supposed to be the United States of America, which, and then we have a 1%. How's the 1% common interest?
Yeah.
It just isn't. It just isn't. Right. That too. Geographics. Yes, Nathan.
If Russia takes over Ukraine, they will go after Poland next. I agree with her. So, people, but before with Trump, he'll just give Putin the keys because he loves these quote unquote strongmen. You know how he said Viktor Orban? That's another dictator. He wants to be like them. He wants his people to jump when he says jump.
Yeah, but if you think that we won't be next on that pecking order, you're a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Because that if you think we won't be next at some point, we won't be going head to head, you are a fool. But he banks on him being a fool.
Yeah. But they know that all you have to do is talk nice about him, give him compliments, and he's all in. That's why
man.
People are going crazy about why does he have Laura Loomer around? Because she likes him. She's saying nice things about him. It's that easy. You could be a straight up complete idiot if you say nice things to him about him. Yo. Yes.
I believe he'll at this point, other than including, I believe he'll do anything at this point. Nothing surprises me. He's desperate.
His followers don't know who Viktor Orban is. They don't know who he is. They don't care. They don't care who he likes. They care about who he hates. And the scary thing, the sad thing, is that he hates them and they don't know it.
What's that little wacky thing he said under his breath? And then Biden, he hates you. He doesn't like you.
He's reflecting and, come on.
Sir, come on, sir.
Meanwhile, Kamala wants to expand Social Security. He wants to eliminate Social Security. So that money that y'all been putting in, that they've been taking out of your paycheck, he feels like it's an entitlement. Yeah, we're entitled to have it because we've been paying into it. That's about as much entitlement as it is. He wants to eliminate public assistance. I'm not on it, but some people I love may be on it. I don't know if they are or not. But when I say maybe, and people I love my people. I love my community. And there are people in my community that I consider my community that are on public assistance, that live in public housing, definitely. I'm from public housing. How could I be, first of all, how could you say you love someone and then vote against their best interests?
Right. Well, I think, in his case, I don't think that he's got a capacity to love because
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about him.
oh,
Chris.
okay.
No. I'm talking about people voting for him.
Oh,
Like, don't say you love me and vote for him. I'm a lesbian, y'all, in case you didn't know.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
so you're going to be a cat lady.
I've been a cat lady. I've been a cat lady. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
And they go, I think it was responsible for Taylor Swift to, her timing could not have been better,
Yeah, that was crazy.
And I just don't understand how whoever's running his campaign, how you just arbitrarily grab people's music and just go with it, and shout out to which family was it that got a cease and desist?
Oh, Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, yeah, Isaac Hayes' family. That's my reason I'm thinking of Marvin Gaye again, but Isaac Hayes' family for being very swift in doing that because like people associate things and associations are right. This fundamentally, you show me who your people are, I show you no, you cannot do that. No, don't do it. You cannot use my music to support yourself because I don't approve of that.
Yeah.
No.
People support. You can tell. Forget about what people say. Look at what people do.
Mm-hmm.
He has been talking to the rich, the elite, telling them he's going to get them some big tax cuts. They already got tax cuts. Okay? Kamala is talking about helping the middle class, entrepreneurs. Viktor Orban is the one who is looking for a one world nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I can't do this alone. Nobody can.
It's so interesting. This is literally going to come down. And I was listening to you and Pop when you were talking about helping out folks that may not be able to get to the polls, making sure people are even getting, absentee ballots for the sick and shut in, really doing whatever you can and reminding people to make sure you're still registered and, and helping, and I'm still trying to figure out, because this is my ignorance, I don't understand why you can't offer someone online a bottle of water in certain states. That to me is, inhumane.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the issue is, and in those particular places,
mm-hmm.
which are
Georgia,
highly populated. It's in Georgia, but the places in Georgia where that will be most problematic is in the blue towns, the blue counties, where they have less machines, so it takes a lot longer. I saw during the last election video footage where in certain counties people were saying, oh, voting was a breeze, and there were all of these unused machines. People were going in and out, no problem, as it should be. Mm-hmm. And then in other counties, you see people waiting for hours. There's like 3 working machines. It was horrible.
And this antiquated voting system needs to be looked at as well. Like, we do everything, not to say that needs to change to digital, because, that you don't want to manipulate it to a certain degree, but having machines and having more areas, like if you have, it should be like there should be a machine for every 2 or 3 miles so that people can make it convenient to cast the vote. But of course they don't want that, and why? Falls right back into the proverbial. We know why, but I think that just not being able to, whatever this, I get concerned for my seniors because, and honestly, the 18-year-olds, I'm so super proud of the way they have been showing up and showing out. 18 and the 18 to 21 and 18 to 25, Love, love, love. We're going to need a lot of them to come through. Carpool, do what you can, make it a fun day. But this has got to go down in history. So, I mean, the question is going to be, what side of history are you on?
Absolutely.
What side of history are you on? What side?
Yeah. Well, you know, this is the thing. If unfortunately, if this dude wins, and again, I believe that the only way he will win, based on these crowd sizes and his incompetence and the number of Republican leaders who are now coming out and supporting Kamala, and the young people that are now registering to vote in droves, you know, it will be due to corrupt judges or cheating fake electors.
Right. Yes, Gen Z does understand the assignment.
I'm so proud of this, the youth. This generation is just amazing. Between the creators, the volunteers, the protesters. I believe in peaceful protests, and that will also be eliminated because Trump intends to use our military to shut down any protest. He said if he wins and people protest, he's going to send the military, which he won't be able to do it on day one.
No.
Like if he wins and there's protests, but
he won't even be in office technically. He'd just be elected.
Yeah. But come the following January, like January of 2025, if he should take over office, he will start doing some things like rounding up people based on their ethnicity and trying to ship them out of this country. It's going to be insane.
Well, that, you know, one of the moderators asked him, what does that look like? You know, you trying to return everybody back to their homeland. What does that look like? Going door to door, snatching folks out of places? What does that look like? You can't use that. You can't use that.
But remember, he has immunity now.
Of course. Yeah, of course. But do you know what kind of chaos?
Yes. Yes. And that's what he intends. That's his intention.
So on a suspicion, you're going to leave that in the hands of people on the ground to just have a reason to do a no knock. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it. Based on what, if you, it's hard to believe that it's possible. But if you look like someone that whoever is given this power, if you look like you should not be an American citizen, they go around. They said they would sort it out later. It could be me. I got dreadlocks. Maybe they're gonna send me to Jamaica, but not to a resort. I don't know.
Listen, I see a lot of Karens being responsible for those calls in the middle of the night. You know, like Ken and Karens that don't feel like you should be. You know, like your existence cannot go back.
People do not understand. This is a whole different set of circumstances that we are under right now. This particular election is everything. He wants to throw away the Constitution. You know what? Typically, I'm for the best, you know, whatever. So I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, doesn't make a difference. But who's best for this country? I do believe that there's so much potential in the Constitution. I think that the Constitution could be rewritten in some spots.
Could be, what's the word? Addendum can be written. Yeah.
Amended, you know, there are more amendments that need to be held. but I believe the underlying principle of it. I believe in it. I'm an American. And you know what? There are things, it's hard to say I love my country. I do love my country. I just feel like we could do so much better. It's just like people I know. Nobody's perfect. People that I love, not perfect, could be so much better, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. And that's how I feel about this country.
And then the questions of why aren't we doing better? Because some of us in power don't believe that we should be, and they want to, reverse us back to times that was not comfortable for a lot of us. So at the end of the day, it's like, you're going to have to grow. And a lot of them have just died off. And, and these are families that are in power. And it's fear-based. And that's just what his whole campaign's been about. But you know what? Just make sure y'all know where you're going in November. Make sure your site is still there, your voting site. If not, learn where it is and make sure you register.
I agree. And on that note, we are going to end today's show. I hope you had a good time or something. I hope you join us next week. And, stay true to your beliefs. Stand up for what you believe in so you don't fall for anybody's bullshit.
Right.
See you later, Rezi.
Peace.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artists or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today or what we doing today or whatever it is, it's gonna be good. Woo!
I love you all so much.
Just whatever the first thing that
Adam and Eve.
we can see you now.
I know. And thank God.
Yeah. That's generally the response we get from everybody, but we keep it clean.